this is a lifelong dream. Well, good morning. Thank you for coming out. It was really nice of you to want to come and take a video and pictures of Jake and Spanky. Spanky's about 30 years old, and he's a Missouri Foxtrotter, and Jake is a former racehorse. So, and as you can tell, very spoiled. So, I've been on this property since 2013, and this property was very special. I looked for 2 years for it. I came in from Palm Springs, used to live in California for many years, and worked with NBC and a lot of the studios, etc. When I came to Arizona, it took me 2 years to find this place, and I liked it because it borders state land on 2 sides, which is really good for the horses. And I now have a couple of 2 roping steers, Fred and Ethel, that adopted the ranch. So it's growing over the years. But it took me quite a few years with just family and work, etc. I'm a senior project manager, and I've done a lot of construction projects over the years in my profession. And when I found the property here, I knew this was ideal for being able to do a sort of a retirement senior equine facility, and that's ultimately what this will be. I've left it intentionally natural because I want them as trail horses, and also just as horses, I want them to live a horse life. There's plenty of rodeo places. This is more of a retreat. So having said that, it took me quite some time to take a look and find the right fencing company, the right fencing material, the layout. I wasn't quite sure how I wanted this to lay out because it's about 1.5 acres, and then I have another 1.5 acres with the property. And ultimately, a friend of mine, a very dear friend, Brenda, who actually is the owner of Jake, I help her with him, I take care of him for her, and she recommended, she had heard through another friend about 7 Peaks. And I looked at several fencing companies. I'd talked to several fencing contractors over the years, as you can imagine. And so I had a rough idea, but I didn't know the type of material that I wanted in terms of the layout, how many gates, etc. So I was trying to get as much information as I could. And in essence, when she recommended call 7 Peaks, I went online, saw their products, saw some of the testimonials, which really helped me to get a feeling of maybe their materials and their products might really work for what I was looking for. So I called. My very first call was about 30 minutes long, and I happened to get Matt, one of the brothers. He could not have been nicer. He was so nice. He took the time to ask me questions about the lay of the property, the size of the property, what my intentions were, what I was looking for, what type of horses, what was important to me, my needs, my wants versus dream list and desires. And through that, he helped to narrow down their product that would, as options that would best serve for what I needed here. I was so reassured and so confident after talking with Matt, and he was so nice about it. He told me to give a call back and talk with Sky, who I did, who is their sales lead and customer service lead, and she was also phenomenal. And just talking with Matt, it gave me a clear understanding, their product is what I need over here, because I'm, as you can tell, for a senior equine retirement retreat, I'm not exactly busting broncos. I'm not training wild horses and Mustangs. So they're very happy here, and as you can tell. And so I spoke with Sky when I called her back. We walked through size. I told her everything that Matt talked about. She made some additional recommendations. She also gave me 3 or 4 different folks I could call that actually knew their products and how to install them. And so I spoke with all of them, and I ultimately decided on Elijah Smith, and he was absolutely phenomenal. Worked very closely with me. He did the measurements. He came out. We walked the property. I told him what I was looking for. certain very specific things for me, like I wanted direct access onto the state land to be able to ride the horses out. I wanted them to have a bridle path in case any of them were injured or had colic issues, that I could walk them. Or if folks were out here with their horses, then they could just walk them on the bridle path rather than taking them into the state land. Or they could go out. There's a lot of different trails out through here. So Lige walked it with me, made some recommendations. He ran up some figures in terms of size, and then I called Sky back, gave her the sizes. We went through it again. She worked up the estimate, reworked it a couple of different times based on some changes that we made, and that included custom gates, that included feeders, that included also what my intentions were for the stalls, because I was not having traditional stalls being brought in, or pipe stalls, because of the heat in the summer and the winter, the cold in the winter. Some of them, who will not be mentioned, suffer with arthritis. So I have to have some very specific needs for the horses met. So I was actually having stalls that were pre-built with a tack actually brought into the property. They were, as you can see at the entire building, it was actually driven in. It was quite a day. They actually trucked it in one piece, and then we set everything up, and then they came out and then did additional fencing for their paddocks off the stalls. I've actually been able to put in 2 evaporation coolers in each stall. I have misting fans in there, and I have misting lines going in right now. So, and in the winter they have heaters, for radiant heaters to take the chill off. So yes, they are very spoiled, but they're very sweet. And it all started with 7 Peaks, realizing this dream. This is a large piece of property. It is not level. I wanted to keep it natural for all the reasons I mentioned. And they listened to all my needs, all my wants, what I was looking for, and so did Lige. And it was absolutely, out of all the construction projects that I've done over the years, and since I'm a senior project manager, that's quite a few of them, I have to say this was probably the easiest and the most pleasant. We had fun at every turn. If there was a question they asked, we made some minor adjustments. It turned out perfectly as I had always dreamed. And it really is because what Matt guided me to was the continuous fencing, which worked like a charm. And then Elijah was able to combine that with some of their other products and their custom gates. And on the round pen, I didn't want a bow gate. They actually were able to bring in a different type of gate for that. And it's literally, well, I told Lige when he got done, this is a lifelong dream.